Hey, Sean here from SpeedCubeReview.com. I've been doing Roux for, I don't know how many months now. I probably should have thought of this before the video started, but about half a year now. I'd say about that much. Half a year, maybe a little bit more. And my solves have been slowly getting better at this point, but, not up to what I was with CFOP after like 5 years of solving. Well, this is an average of 5 that turned out fairly well. It's not my best times ever, but I thought I would do a little reconstruction of each one. So let's get into this. And this first solve ended up being a 12.41 second solve. So I'll put the scramble in the video or in the description, probably somewhere. And I'll kind of just walk through what I did and some mistakes I made, some things I could have done differently. A couple things that I feel like I'm doing really well at this point is planning my first block. I'm not doing some really crazy things. Like I see some top solvers doing a lot of wide moves where they don't actually start the block on the right, but with wide moves, on the left, but with wide moves, it ends up on the left. So I'm not really doing that. But this first block, 4 moves. What I start struggling with is the second block. I feel like I'm doing a little bit too many moves here. So, for example, after I do the second square, instead of doing sort of an F2L like solve where I did this U prime R, U prime R prime U, R U, R prime, I could have done some M moves and saved a move because of this. However, the one I did was only 2 gen, meaning it's just 2 sides instead of doing M moves, U, and R moves. So there could be an argument that what I did ended up being faster. However, like I said, I did do an extra move when I didn't need to. And then we have CMLL, which is just soon case for this, so I got really lucky with this. And then EO, then I did the left and right edges. Now, I try to do EOLR some of the times, which is where you do edge orientation, and then you either set up or completely solve the left and right edges, so the UL and UR edge. Now with this, I sometimes either can't plan it out or I don't feel like it's efficient to try to set that up, and better just to do EO. So I did EOLR and then the last 4 edges. Ended up being a 49 move solution. My goal is to have my solutions being under 50 moves. So right now I think I'm averaging low 50s, like 51 or 52. So 49 to me is a really nice solve. Okay, second solve, even a nicer time, 12.16 seconds. So the first block I was able to do in 6 moves. And again, the second block is the one where I got a little bit excessive with the moves. I probably could have eliminated 1 or 2 here or there by inserting differently. If you have a little more expertise in Roux, let me know some things I could do that I'm forgetting with the second block. I feel like that I'm getting a little bit stuck with. But CMLL, and this looks like soon, but is a Niklas case, which is basically looks like soon. There's another way of executing it without doing R and L moves, which can be a little bit clunky. But I did EO, which is only 4 moves, LR, which is another 4 moves, and then the last 4 edges. Okay, moving on to the third solve. This was my worst. It was a 17.28 second solve. It's just a lot of little clunky things that I did. So the first block ended up being a lot of moves. It was over 10 moves, which is not really what you want to do. And I could have done it in much less. So in the first square, I could have set up some other pieces. I wasn't planning too far ahead at this point. So these solves were a few weeks, about a month ago, and I wasn't planning as far ahead as I am now. And then second block, again, did feel like some excessive moves. Now, when I got to CMLL, I did learn full CMLL. I have a video on how I did that in one day, and I didn't register what it is. So I did like a U prime, then a U, and then a U prime. And this is a little more long, and this is kind of a longer CMLL compared to some of them because it is 2 soon cases. You're basically doing 1 soon and then canceling into the other one. It's not too bad because it's just 2 gen, meaning R and U moves, but it can be a little bit long. This EOLR was fantastic. It was just 3 moves, and then last 4 edges, I made a mistake by doing the wrong M move, so I had to backtrack there. So a couple backtracks in this. It was 53 moves if you're not counting the U prime U, and you just sort of cancel those out. 53 is not as bad as I thought it would be with the excessive moves I did. 56 if you add those in. Okay, this fourth solve, another 12-second solve, 12.18. And what's nice with this is the first square is completely done. So didn't have to do anything with the first square. The first block was 6 more moves. Now this CMLL, I've been doing it with the left hand and the right hand. I'm just much more comfortable with the left hand for this. And so I've been practicing both, and I can do both fairly the same speed. I'm debating if I should always do a U2 and do the right hand, or just do whatever is more comfortable at that moment. I think I'll do whatever's more comfortable. However, I have to think about it for a second, which does, tack on some small fractions of a second. Then we have EOLR. This one I did feel very successful with that EOLR. It was 6 moves. And then the last 4 edges. Now this, I did, again, a bunch of excessive moves. I did a U prime, then a U, and then a U2. All I needed was 6 moves, and I ended up doing, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I did 10 moves instead of 6. I've got my little script in front of me, so that's why I can read that. So yeah, some excessive moves. So if we cancel out those unnecessary ones, it was a 42 move solution. If we add in all of my random moves that I did unnecessarily, it's 49. So still sub 50, so I'm pretty happy with that still. And my last solve of the set was a 16.4 second solve. Pretty nice first block. It was only 6 moves. Second block, few too many excessive moves. Again, CMLL was fine. EO, LR. Last 4 edges is where I kind of got a little bit, again, excessive. I should have done, again, just 6 moves. And it would have been around a 14-second solve. But I had to backtrack. I did U, M2, U2, M2, M2, U2, M prime, and had to backtrack with that. So 54 moves if I did it the right way, 59 with the excessive last 4 edges. So that was kind of the most excessive of all of them. Overall, my solves have been pretty nice. The next solve in this bunch, I'll just kind of put it up here. It was another kind of nice one, but I'll just keep this in a set of 5. So I'll just let that play. But Roux is turning out to be a lot of fun. I think it has more potential for me than CFOP. I'm going to keep continuing it throughout September, October, November, December, and see what happens in January if I want to keep doing it. Now, I've been actually liking my averages when I pick one or the other as I solve, so I'll see a nice cross and I'll do CFOP, or I'll normally just do Roux unless really nothing shows up, and then I'll kind of jump to a cross and do a CFOP there. So I'll go back and forth, and it works out fairly well because I'm picking CFOP when it's set up really nicely. So most of the solves are a second or 2 faster than what my average normally is with CFOP, because I'm just picking the ones that have really nice starts. So thank you very much for watching. This was really fun to go through and analyze my solves. Writing them out and seeing what I did, going back into the video and seeing that as well, really opened my eyes to some of the mistakes that I was doing, and even some of the things that I was doing kind of well that I didn't realize were actually working out. Leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. And as always, stop by speedcubeview.com for news and reviews.